You know I try to be a good man. I always give it my best. But truth be told, someday I want to go to the wild, wild west.
Live with flavor you can't put down. It's time for Real Estate Jerky. Pick up your phone. Dial pound 250, keyword Real Estate Jerky. Get your questions answered on the air by our expert host, Ed Parco, MBA, veteran, and president of Lending for Living. Smoking out the bull and keeping it real, covering you first-time homebuyers and complex commercial investors. Expert real estate advice you won't find anywhere else. We'll give you something to chew on. Real Estate Jerky is on now.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on Real Estate Jerky. I'm your host, Ed Parco, president of Lending for Living, along with Marlene Chaplin, my trusty sidekick and co-host. On the road and keeping you up to date on real estate and what's happening in our communities. Our studio is wherever we have a solid Wi-Fi connection, or our fabulous engineer, Mike Murray. I'm sorry, I'm going to do that one more time. Our studio is wherever we have a solid Wi-Fi connection, and our fabulous engineer, Mike Murray, and the incredible radio signal of iHeartMedia and the station KFIV. We always bring you something to chew on here at Real Estate Jerky. If you have any questions, you can call or text me at 209-404-1915 or email me at radio@realestatejerky.com. Hello, Marlene. I know we're talking about one of your favorite projects today. What is it?
We are. And I make no promises to contain my enthusiasm today, so please don't ask me to, okay?
Or stay on time.
I can't do that either. I promise. I'm just going to warn everybody right now, Mike. And
you going to tell us or what? We're going to have to stay in suspense forever?
We'll be talking about the Awesome Spot Playground with Chad Kennedy, Odell Engineering. He's an architect. He's a principal partner there at Odell. And he's an Awesome Spot Playground board member and the all-around most incredible advocate for inclusive playgrounds ever. He was on the TED Talk when Modesto did TED Talks here a few years back. Chad was one of the TED Talkers, and it was about inclusive play and playgrounds and how he and I and all of our team on the Awesome Spot Playground board, and now many sponsors just like you, Ed, really do believe that we will change the world for children with these inclusive playgrounds.
And how are we going to do that, one child at a time or one playground
you know what?
at
One playground at a time. One playground at a time. There's so many ways. I mean, what we're doing here in Modesto is incredible. You will hear in a little bit and find out that there's nothing like it. This one is better than the one in Southern California. It's better than the one in Palo Alto. It is incredible. I get so excited when I visualize it. My own grandkids are excited about it. If you haven't seen the Awesome Spot Playground illustrations and plans, go to the awesomespotplayground.com. Once you see it and you see the elements, being able to put a kid or an adult for that matter that's in a wheelchair in a swing, and you can push them. A child can push them. This equipment is amazing. The surface is amazing. All the stuff that's going in here. I see enthusiasm. I'm running on.
Yep, you're so excited.
Our engineer Mike's over there going, shut her up now.
He doesn't sound like that, but that's
he doesn't sound like that. He's got the best voice ever. But Ed, you know what I'm talking about. You're part of this too.
Yeah. Well, I actually have a daughter with special needs too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I didn't know
that whole thing. That's important.
I didn't know if you want to get on that on the radio, but let's do.
It's not.
There's
that's nothing to hide.
That's
right?
Thank you. That's part of my big thing. Is I've been mad. These last 20 years, more than that, 40 years, I've watched our society, in all with goodwill in mind, lock up our special needs kids. And when I say that, I don't mean it like the old days. And in the old, I'm going to do a station ID because I want to say this correctly. I don't want to parse my words here. But we need to talk about real estate, too. So you're listening to Real Estate Jerky here on Power Talk 1360 KFIV with our amazing host, Ed Parco, MBA veteran and president of Lending for Living, who's got every answer you could possibly need about real estate, mortgages, home loans, ways to get your piece of the American dream and build personal wealth. So you can reach out to Ed at 209-404-1915. That's 209-404-1915. Yeah, so I'll get off my soapbox, but basically this. We've developed all these great programs that keep kids with special needs away from other kids. And
I didn't see that when my daughter was going to Buyer High. They actually, they had other people in the room. They did a lot to connect. It's just the biggest problem is getting, the stuff you need for your children through the school system or whatever. They don't make it easy. It's a lot harder. But, those are things that you have to work through. Life's not, first thing I learned when I was a kid, my dad taught me is life's not fair. I guess a lot of people didn't learn that these days. Everybody thinks life's supposed to be fair, and it's not. It's what you make it. Right.
No, life is not fair. That's my
Life's
thing.
a garden, dig it.
Nope. I tell my kids and I tell my grandkids, what do you mean? Fair? Fair? Life is not fair. Fair is the color of skin, and that's not me, and that's not you, so get over it.
And it's whatever you make this world. You're going to run into people who hate you no matter what you do. And the more haters you have, the more you're doing right. So let's move on.
Okay, so I have a question for you about playground equipment.
Don't have any.
Did you ever have any when you were a kid? What was your favorite playground equipment? What did you run for? When you got to a playground, what did you run for?
Didn't really run to playgrounds when I was a kid. We were in the middle of nowhere.
I was too.
The dirt was the playground.
Oh, come on. You went to at least when you went to school, that's the first time I went to a playground.
Yeah, probably definitely wasn't, swing for a few minutes. I don't know, but
the slide,
monkey bars.
Really, monkey bars? That's one of my younger granddaughters.
But dude, that was so long ago, I can't even remember that. So.
Oh God, he's so mature now.
No, I'm not mature, just old.
I still run for the slide. If there's a slide that'll carry me, man, I'm on it. I love them. Our church, when I go do the kids. When I go serve at the kids with the nursery, I'm on the slide with the kids. I dig it.
Speaking of slide, forbearance numbers are down. See how I could tie those together?
Yay!
Yeah. All right. So when we started the pandemic and they thought everybody was going to do forbearances, they thought 30% of the people were going to do forbearance, right? Everybody, right? It ended up being about, then it was like, okay, 8.5%. Well, realistically, just recently, the while back, it was 3.5%. Well, now that's went down to 2.89%. So I just want to throw some numbers out here. So at 2.89%, 85% of those people, that's probably like 11 million people, if that. It's a really small number. So out of that number, only 13% don't have enough equity to sell their house. All right. So that 13% is probably about 225,000 people. So even if they had to sell their house or got rid of their house because they couldn't afford to get the forbearance or whatever, that's nothing. We're not going to see a huge drop in this market on additional foreclosures, additional stuff to mess with this whole market and growing. Our foreclosure rate last year and the year before was 260 to 279,000. I'm not being exact, but just close to those numbers,
it was the lowest it's been in.
Well, I'm just saying, but that's what this number is, though. So if you add it to that, it's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket, and it's not going to help. So don't think the foreclosures is going to be the way to fix this market, because it's not.
We have had this discussion before because I was a single mom raising my kids and all that, and managed to put it together several times, buying houses and moving houses and doing all that. And here's what I'm going to say about that, and it's advice I've given my own kids. You need to buy a house. You need to own your home. Figure out what home you can own, whatever it is. You got to start somewhere. Figure out whatever home you can own. Even when you're single, if you're a single listener out there, own a home. Buy your house.
Buy a triplex.
Buy a condo.
Buy a
duplex.
Townhouse. Buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex, 1 to 4 units, live in one of them, and have the people pay for the other.
And the money is the same. Unless you are an investor. If you're an investor, that's a different conversation. If you're a worker or you're a self-employed person who is not in real estate, then own your home. It's one of those things in America. And as far as the interest rates today, what you might gain, you are going to... the market rarely does both at the same time, which is low pricing and low interest rates. We had it for a minute. We did for a minute, but it's gone. Right? That's gone.
Actually, low prices in real estate. When we had low prices in real estate, interest rates were high.
They were higher than this.
Oh, yeah. Now that we have low interest rates.
Normally they are. Yeah, and when we have high prices, well, unless you get into the times when we've had both, and don't wait for that.
That's not going to happen. All we're going to see is prices continue to go up. Yeah.
But we could see the interest rates go up as well.
Oh, they're definitely going up. They're already the pressure on them because of inflation. Why would you wait
for that?
The whole thing about transitory inflation is not there. It's long-term inflation. It's because of a lot of stuff that's going on here. COVID didn't help, but neither did shutting down a pipeline, these other things that have happened. Yeah. As I say, there's only two entities that can destroy a great market. The current administration, and I don't mean just this current administration in general,
right.
And then the Fed. And they both do their darndest to mess it up. So that's the whole thing. I'm here to help from the government that they never are here to help. So
that's right. The 5 scariest words. Say it.
I'm here. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
I'm here to help.
That's right. Rates, people ask me where rates are. Rates are still low. I mean, I'm still seeing under 3 in certain situations. I'm seeing, but what's I was asked this question the other day. Can you do, mortgages for, low FICO scores? My first thing is, why do I want to do that? Why do you want to go through that process? Let's get your credit score up. Let's work on it. Go get a few secure credit cards. There's this program now where you can put your rent on your credit report that adds about 40 points to it, plus a couple, secure credit cards in 60 days. You're going to have a totally different score. Get above 620, do a 640 at least for FHA, VA. It's a night and day difference compared to somebody in the 610 and all the stuff you have to jump through. So don't go through.
You know what, Ed? If I haven't said it lately, I'll say it right now. I did your thing. I've been a cash girl for a long time because I went through a really nightmare situation during the big economic downturn. What do we call it? The not great recession. The not great recession.
A depression, but if we claim it as a depression, we'll have to.
Yeah,
anyway.
So I became a cash and carry customer, right? So that's what I've been. And then, but that means you have a very low FICO score. Not terrible. I think mine was in the 640, 650, something like that.
That's not bad.
And then, but I did what Ed said, got a credit card and put my power and stuff on that and just paid it off, right? Just to see what happened. And you know what? Ed's right. Within less than a year, it was about 8 months, my FICO score went to where it rarely has been, only back in the day when I had all kinds of debt. When I had all kinds of debt back in the day, I think I was in the 810s, 820s. But it was amazing to me just by putting what Ed recommends. You fix it. I mean, it's crazy. It's simple. So, yes, I agree with you. Don't have a bad FICO score. Get your FICO score.
No, there's ways to fix it.
Ed can help.
There's ways to fix it. And don't call these credit repair places. They just put multiple disputes on stuff, and it always comes back. I'm not saying they're all bad, but 90% of them don't really do what they said they're going to do.
You know what?
You can do
we
it
should
yourself.
Get somebody on. I actually know somebody.
Perfect.
Okay, so you've got questions about real estate, and you need to reach out to Ed right here at Real Estate Jerky on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Oh, reach out to Ed at 209-404-1915. That's 209-404-1915. Joining us now, one of my all-time favorite people that needs no other adjective on there. He's a great human being, husband, dad, and oh, so very talented architect, principal landscape architect with Odell Engineering. He's a designer and a board member of the Awesome Spot Playground. Did I win a drum roll? Chad Kennedy. Good morning. Hi, Chad.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Chad, thanks so much for being on today and joining us. We appreciate you showing up. So we have a lot of ground to cover in a short period of time. For most people, I mean, you've been on before. We talked about this. For the new listeners, what is the Awesome Spot Playground?
Well, the Awesome Spot Playground is a universally inclusive playground. We like to call it sensory integrated playground as well, designed specifically to basically allow everyone to play together and not place limitations on the playground that keep people from being able to be in a play environment together. So it's something we've been working on for a long time, and about 6 years now, and we're hoping to be able to build soon. So I'm really happy to get into this and share with you all where it's going from here.
See, that sounds so milquetoast. I like to create a picture, and that's why that website that you have at theawesomespotplayground.com is so important, that people go look at it. If you can imagine a parent in a wheelchair with children, if you can imagine parents that can stand up on their own with children with wheelchairs, if you can imagine children with braces and walkers, and name any different physical special need, and then imagine a playground where all of that can come together and absolutely whoops of joy and fun and fantastic. A slide that you can go down together, like literally together, right, Chad?
Yeah, totally.
Like a swing that you can hook your wheelchair up in and swing and push it to swing. Yes, right?
Yep, you're hitting all the awesome things that are in there. There's about 1,000 of them that I could share with you. We do have.
Please do. Tell me another
we have
visual.
20 minutes.
Before we get into why you're doing this and what you got you into it, because long before the Awesome Spot, this has been something that's on your heart, yes?
Oh, yeah. I have designed hundreds of playgrounds in my career, but this one has kind of been like the pinnacle of my career, and it's something that my heart's in. It's tested me. It's made me stretch. It's made me do things, or helped me to learn things that I've never had to really work on personally before or in my career. So yeah, it's amazing, and it's really been a fun experience to be involved with. You asked me what my favorite element of it is. There's so many, but if I had to pick one, there's what we're calling the sensory perch. And it's about 10 feet in the air, and you're able to get up there, even if you are in a walker or in a wheelchair or something like that. If you have a physical mobility challenge, you can still get up into it. And basically you are in a cage that the bars are tuned, and it becomes a xylophone. So you're almost like this little bird singing your music, right? Creating music from 10 feet up in the air and sharing it with the world around you. And you can look down and see everything going on around you. It's just pretty cool. I can't wait.
I get, we've been at this a long time. Cool. We've been at this a long time, 5 years now. Yeah. Raising money for this. And every day, because it's an everyday thing, right, Chad? We are every day at this for 5 years, every day. And there's a big group now, and the group has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger for the Awesome Spot Playground. But part of the reason we're here today is we have such big news, but I almost can't hold it. Tell me how did you get into this, Chad? I mean, what made you, before the Awesome Spot, why playgrounds?
Well, I worked for the Center for Persons with Disabilities prior to moving to California about 16 years ago. And it opened my eyes to some of the challenges that my peers and those around me are facing. And I started working with the landscape architect there at Utah State University, who was working on a playground specifically designed to eliminate those barriers that we've been talking about, whether that's physical mobility impairment, or if it's someone on the autism spectrum, or even a sensory processing disorder. It doesn't really matter what those challenges are. We were trying to design away from those so that everybody could enjoy that. And, that's 20 years ago. And from then, I've been an advocate moving forward since then.
You're listening to Real Estate Jerky here on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. We're talking to Chad Kennedy, Principal Landscape Architect for Odell Engineering and designer of the Awesome Spot Playground. For more information or to donate or get involved, visit theawesomespotplayground.com. That's theawesomespotplayground.com. And if you have questions or need help with real estate, home loans, refis, call Ed at 209-404-1915. That's 209-404-1915, or email us at radio@realestatejerky.com. So it all started 20 years ago with you working with another engineer who was designing a playground. Is there anything like this in California right now, the Awesome Spot Playground? Anything like it now?
I like to call the playgrounds that I work on like Inclusive Play 2.0, because we're taking it to the next level. There are inclusive playgrounds in the state of California, mostly in the metropolitan areas like the Bay Area. It's a bit of a trek to get into anyone nearby us. So this is really a regional deal here, and it's going to be very specific to our region. It take you a couple hours to get to any other one. So not very common, but they're out there.
Right. I think Palo Alto, Southern California, and they're not like, I think, I'm going to be partial, but I think it's true. They're not like this. They're not like this one.
No, this one's so much better. It's so much grander. It's amazing. It really is.
It is.
So what you're saying is people are going to come from all over for it? That's what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Hey, and those home prices around the North Buyer area, better buy now. Better buy now. You could Airbnb that sucker. Because, no, seriously, people will be bringing their families to come visit the Awesome Spot Playground. It's really amazing.
When can they start visiting it?
I guess we could go into that. Chad, you want to go into that? We are so excited.
Yeah, we're planning on groundbreaking in spring of 2022. So we've been waiting a long time to do that, and now we can announce it. We're going to break ground.
And how long do you expect it to take to build out once you guys start breaking ground?
It'll take us about a year to build it. And so by spring of 2023, this should be available for everyone to come and participate in. So,
and you guys have enough money, everything you needed, or do you guys still need more money?
We need more money. We are going to start without all of the funds in place. So we really need the community to jump in and engage and help us get it over the finish line so that we don't have to have it all to begin, but by the time 2023 runs around, we should be done.
Yeah. I mean, it's, do we say the number? Because this was probably one of my, other than the Gallo Center, working with Carl Boyette on that years ago, this is probably my most aggressive project in the parkland, in the Park Partner Program. Because this one's how much?
About $5 million.
Cheap.
Yeah. It's not like doing the dog park or this one's been, but it's so incredible what it will be. This is Real Estate Jerky on Power Talk 1360 KFIV with our amazing host, Ed Parco, MBA veteran and president of Lending for Living. You can reach out to Ed by dialing 209-404-1915. That's 209-404-1915. I'm Marlene Champlin, Ed's trusty sidekick, and we're talking to the designer of the most amazing playground that'll ever be built. I can say that confidently. It's the Awesome Spot Playground with the architect, advocate, board member, Chad Kennedy. So, Chad, when we left, we were talking about it's coming. Spring 2022, breaking ground, take about a year to build. What all do we need? What do we need, Chad?
Well, we have a great team in place to help us do this. We have the Park Partners Program with the City of Modesto, and then Harris Builders, Craig Harris from Harris Builders. He's going to be the contractor, and he's going to help us wade through the issues with construction. But in order to get us to the finish line, we really need the community to step up and help us with our fundraising efforts, whether that be big fundraising elements like the namings of the playgrounds. There's 3 or 4 options for large donations where they can get their name on the playground or each area, and all the way down to smaller fundraising elements like you can buy a little nameplate that will go on the fences for a couple $100. You can look at different options of how to support us. So all the way from the spectrum of $5 to $500,000, we just need people to engage and help us out.
All right. So question for you. I heard, as we do this from home and offices and stuff, if doorbell rang, I had to go open it. But my question to you is, what can we do, Real Estate Jerky, to buy to have our name there?
$500,000 and you can name them.
That's a little tough for us to swing. We've only been on the air a little over 3 years. Give us a couple more years for that one.
Sure. Well,
we're not syndicated yet. When we get syndicated, we could talk, but right now we're not syndicated.
Sure. Well, there's a couple different options for you. For $250, you get a rainbow sponsor. For $500, you get your name on the fence.
What's a rainbow sponsor? What does that mean?
Rainbow sponsor, it ties to Homer. He's kind of the mascot for the playground, and so you would get your name on the website and kind of get on the board that we put in the park afterwards, saying that you're a rainbow sponsor for $250. And for $500, you get your name on a plaque that goes on the fence, and there'll be kind of a picket line of fences, and everybody who's supported it at that level gets their name on the fence. And then for an awesome sponsor, then you it'd be $1,000 for anybody wanting to get that sponsorship level, and it goes up from there.
Awesome. What's an awesome sponsor? Where's that name go? Where is that at? I'm sorry, I'm particular. I want to know what my money is getting.
Sure. So you get the same things as a rainbow sponsor, but you also get highlighted in the sponsorship magazine and bigger allocations in the park, on the boards and things in the park.
Okay. 500 or
instead of a
1,000.
star. Who needs a star for Christmas? Naming a star. They're dead anyway. So you can have a place on the fence at the Awesome Spot Playground, and that will be there for long past you. So instead of,
long past you?
Fences
don't last that long.
This one will. You watch. This one will. That's part of why it's so much money, is we have to endow this playground. So not only the cost of building it, and I want to say, well, let me do a station ID and then we'll say it. You're listening to Real Estate Jerky here on Power Talk 1360 KFIV, and we're talking to the Awesome Spot Playground designer, architect, and advocate, part of a giant team, Chad Kennedy, but Chad without you, and Rachel. So I think people want to know, I would want to know, who thought this up?
Yeah, so Rachel Laredo, a mother of a child with a disability living here in Modesto, she went to the city a few years ago and told them that she needed a place where she could take her son to play, and there was nowhere like that here in the community. She started the effort, and I jumped on board, having the expertise to help out. And then Kelly Gloria jumped on board. She's an occupational therapist, and it just blossomed from there,
Yep. And then we part of the Be Green, OB Green recycling campaign that we do. That money goes to building parks, helping parks in the city. That's how we got involved. And there's so many people. Like I said, it's a giant group of people. I mean, the O'Briens for OB Green, O'Brien's Market, they allow us to do the collections and then match. But recently, a new member of the team who we kind of touched on, Craig, and made this so we can look at now, we're moving ground, we're moving forward, is Craig Harris Builders. Because that allows us to take full advantage of the Park Partner Program as a general contractor, right? I mean, and can you talk a little bit about that? Because pretty soon we're going to be looking at other contractors, subs out there to do some of this work, because there's a lot of, well, you know better than I do. You're the guy.
Yeah, definitely. It's a different way of building this project. With such a high price tag, it's hard to fundraise all that immediately and get started. So with Craig coming in, he certainly gives us a shot in the arm. And then, we'll be looking for other philanthropically minded tradesmen and subcontractors who can jump in and do just like we are and that Craig is doing, and really build something that the community needs and be a part of building the family, a tight-knit community that Modesto is. So, we'll be looking for that. And in the next couple of months, we'll have options and availability of how they can jump in and be a part of this amazing thing. I envision in my mind the kids are just going to lose their minds when they come and see this place. It's going to be amazing.
And the sign's going to go up in about 30 days or less. So you'll get a visual from that, because we're including some elements of what inclusive play looks like on the sign. Because it's hard to imagine something you don't know what you don't know. I mean, for me, the Awesome Spot Playground will prove beyond words that we really do love our children here, all of them, every shade, every stripe, every aspect. We love them and we care. And this is, to me, it gives that message loud and clear.
Question for you. Looking back, what was the hardest thing to get this going? So if somebody else in another area wanted to start the same project, how would you recommend they go about it? Because you've been through it. Because I'm sure there's other counties, other places that are like, how do we do this, right, once this one gets going?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is getting your team in place. You've got to have a team of people who understand the process, and they have to be dedicated. You have to find those people that are willing to give of their time, that are willing to make it happen, and work every day. Like Marlene said, you have to do something every day or else it just won't happen.
It's hundreds of thousands of dollars before you ever move a piece of dirt. That's a fact.
Yep.
That's a fact. I mean, that's just a fact. You have design, you have media, you have people meeting. I mean, it's hundreds of permits, which we are fortunate here. We have a very supportive that was put in place over 20 years ago with Jim Niskanen. Julie and Jim and those put that in place. So we're very, I feel from working on various projects over the years, we're very blessed to have that team in place, even though the team's changed over the years.
Yeah, the city's been a great partner in this project, and they've put up money for this as well. Upwards of $850,000 from the city. So they're invested. The county's invested. Everybody's pushing for this thing, and now we just got to get it over the finish line. We're almost there.
And you can be a part of that, my friends out there. You can be a big part or a small part, but guess what? It all matters. It's all going to be amazing. It's all going to be awesome.
Yes. I just want to say thanks to the community for their help so far. This is a huge undertaking for our community. It may be different for a big metropolitan area. It may be easier to do this, but man, we have a community that's really supportive. And every time we have a fundraising event and people come out, we have one this Saturday actually, a recycling event and the Little Kids at Big Trucks event. Everybody supports us in whatever way they can, and it's really going to take the village. It's a true statement. It's going to take a village to build this thing, and I'm so thrilled that we're this far along, and I just can't wait for the next year and a half. I goosebumps.
That's what's amazing about Stanislaus County, right? We're not the most affluent area, but we give like nobody's else, right? So everybody gives to all different causes, and we're here to support and help, and that's what's great about living in Stanislaus County. That's
why we do the show. It's a great investment here. You're not going to go wrong investing here. And with that in mind, we got to take a little break. So there was always something to chew on here at Real Estate Jerky on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. If you have questions or comments, please dial Ed at 209-404-1915. That's 209-404-1915. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, or you can email us at radio@realestatejerky.com. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Awesome Spot Playground, what's going on in the real estate market, and what's going on out in our community. In fact, today, 2 fundraisers for the Awesome Spot Playground are going on, and I can't help be enthusiastic. Ed, you're part of it too, and that's the thing that's so amazing.
I am. Am I part of it?
You are.
Because
yes,
I donated so much to Be Green?
You've donated to OB Green. You actually gave up hard cash for the bags, sponsor bags.
Is that
the
what
shopping
those
bags at O'Brien,
okay.
Those reusable, the burlap bags. If you guys have one of those out there. If you don't, you go to O'Brien's Market, and all the money when you buy one of those, they're really cool. It has some sponsors on it. Chad was right. It's taken. There's hundreds. At this point, there's hundreds of people. And if I miss anybody, believe me, it isn't because I don't know that you're there. But there's hundreds of people. Getting, like we mentioned earlier, Craig Harris to be part of that. It's partly because Chad and I worked on a really big project many years ago, and that was what we call the Virginia Corridor, but everyone else knows it as the trail across the city. And that was very similar. It was a very large project. Back then it was $2 million. Today it would probably be 5 or 6. And that's another challenge that we faced with the Awesome Spot Playground, Ed, is what's happened just COVID. Because of materials and everything. This project of the Awesome Spot was originally at 2.75, then it went to 3.2, and then with all of the increase. So that's what made a group of us really start thinking about how are we going to get this done. And then boom, we realized, oh, wait, we could do it the way we did the corridor. We can get a general contractor involved. We can get some philanthropic contractors to do. Because there's wiring, there's cement, there's plumbing, there's everything, every part of construction, asphalt, pavement. There's everything in this. And then there's the equipment itself. There's, have to have ADA bathrooms, of course. There's a lot of pieces to it. And we thought, well, let's do it like we did that. Let's put this opportunity. It's not even hope for just the kids and all the families that will enjoy the playground itself. But here's an opportunity to what I said earlier, and like you, Ed, to show some love to Modesto. This is one of those projects where you love Modesto when you're part of this.
I think so. I mean, and did the COVID kind of killed the bags there for a while too, right? Because you couldn't.
It did, because we couldn't sell them, so they were in the store. So they've been putting them out at O'Brien's, but really they disappear. So you might have to ask if you want. You have one, yes?
I have a couple of them.
Lending for Living's on there. Roberts Auto, Orangeburg Medical, TICG. It's a list of all our friends. All my friends.
Everybody we have on the radio.
All my friends and family.
What, do you hit everybody up that's on the radio?
I did. I hit everybody. Oh, it was before Real Estate Jerky, actually. Because as I mentioned, we've been at this for 5 years. So Saturday, today.
And we only been at this for 3 years and a month.
Yep. Yeah, Saturday. Well, I'm one of those. I'm a heavy lifter. Right, like you. That's what we have in common. Ed, is we're heavy lifters. I like doing the heavy community lifting, and you can lift up just about anything and anybody.
Well, I do a lot of community stuff too.
I know you do,
but not as much as I used to. So
no, we're doing this.
It's just time-wise, it's so hard to do everything anymore. You have to pick and choose. There's so much need out there that you have to pick and choose who you can help just because of time. Otherwise, you have no time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're listening to Real Estate Jerky here on Power Talk 1360 KFIV with our host, Ed Parco, MBA veteran and president of Lending for Living. We really are going to talk about real estate. Well, we have some, but this is important too. But if you need help with real estate, or you've got some questions, or you want to help us, help somebody else, then get a hold of Ed at 209-404-1915. That's 209-404-1915, or email us at radio@realestatejerky.com. So today, if you're feeling philanthropic out there, take your recycling over to O'Brien's Market in Riverbank. The other thing that's going on is Little Kids Big Trucks, and that's over at the RE/MAX parking lot, Ed. So our real estate friends over at RE/MAX are part of this too. Anybody listening is going, God, I don't know if I want to be friends with them.
That's right. We're going to make you work.
We're gonna get some community. But the Little Kids Big Trucks, it's exactly what it sounds like. Bring your kids, and there's big tractors and loaders and fire trucks and the SWAT vehicle, and they can climb around it. Everything from look for this event. It's an annual event. It's going on till 2 today, so you just have time to catch it during our time slot. And but we are doing this every year for the Awesome Spot Playground as a fundraiser. So there is a time frame when there's no sirens or anything, and that was from 10 to 11. And that's how we run this event normally. When I say we, it's Rachel, Kelly, Chad, and a whole bunch of other folks who I'm doing the recycling over at O'Brien's. And it just happened this way that we're doing it on Love Modesto Day because we love Modesto.
Hey, anyway, I'm sorry, but all I'm seeing is beer, brats, and I assume that's bison.
Bacon.
Or is it bacon? Oh, sorry, it's missing. It has a BASON on the.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of things you can do. I mean, this,
beer, brats, and open. Bacon. Got to go to that one.
Beer, brats, and bacon. That's the veterans.
That's why I saw that. So is that the veterans community? Who's putting that on?
Yes, 11 to 4. Stanislaus County Veterans Office, yes, from 11 to 4.
Is the Cheese and Wine Festival this weekend, too?
It is this weekend in Riverbank, yeah. That's part of why we're going to get some visibility over there doing the Aubrey Green and the Awesome Spot recycling during that. Yeah. I
mean, it's amazing that's happening, right? I mean, because it's outside, thank goodness, right? They don't have to have masks outside.
You know what? We are the county. We are rebellious here because we have faith.
Some places are.
We have faith. We have faith here. We do. We have faith. We know there's no cure for death. Well, there's one cure for death. But,
there's no cure for death. You die. Your body dies.
Your body dies. That's right. There's no cure for that. It's going to happen to every one of us.
Is that a song or something? Where everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die?
Well, you know what? In Stanislaus County, we are rebels with a cause. And I think that's why we are such good givers here and why we have some amazing things here.
Hey, I think you left out Perry's, right? Isn't Perry's this weekend, too?
Perry's Pumpkins and Deloso's open. You can go shoot pumpkins out of a cannon. And then you can go in their pumpkin patch. The cool thing about Perry's Market in Manteca and their pumpkin patch is it's free. You don't have to do a thing other than show up. Although I will warn you, there are the cutest. There are cutest pumpkins there. I mean, you're going to spend a couple of bucks. There's some cute stuff, the little pumpkins this year, and the little warty ones, and the gourds, and there's little pumpkins with long, long stems because the little kids love the stems, right? So they have now these little pumpkins that have these really long stems. They're like $2. I mean, they're super cute. So, but get in the pumpkin patch at Perry's Market. It's right there on French Road, down from Delicados on 99, Lathrop Road, between French Cramp and the Lathrop Road exit. What else is going on?
I just can't believe we're in October.
We are.
I'm like, where'd the year go?
The corner.
Where's this year? Bring it back, please.
No, that's all right. I had some more tough stuff this year, so I say no, forward, please.
There's always going to be tough stuff every year.
I know. Yeah. Maybe I'm
never
a wimp.
Going to be an easy year ever.
Maybe I'm a wimp. I guess anything really good's never easy, is it?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Is what I was told.
Well, it
I don't know if it's correct.
Makes me older, makes me grayer.
makes me have more creases on my face.
Yeah. So, hey, I said earlier about the Awesome Spot Playground and buying a house over there. That's Beyer High School is where it's going to be at the Beyer Park. So you can see where there's big grassy baseball that's really not used area. That's where the Awesome Spot's going to be. So down from the skate park, up from the high school is where the Awesome Spot Playground is going to be. And like I said, the sign's going up very soon, quickly. I mean, as soon as I get it designed, we just got approved from the city Monday. Yay! And we got the money right there. We got the money right there on the spot from city council members to do the sign. That's what I love about this community. We said we need a sign. Everybody said, isn't there already a sign? I said, no, ma'am, there's no sign. No, sir, there's no sign. We need a sign. So people know that we're moving dirt, and that this is coming, spring of 2022. And Councilmember David Wright and Councilwoman Jenny Knoyer, boom. They turned to Craig Harris Builders and said, how much would it cost? Craig said $1,500. They each put up $1,000, so we got enough. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom.
Not even playing, I'm telling you. We're at the end of our show.
Not even, man. It's happening. We don't. Yeah, well, are we done? Okay.
Yes, thank you for joining today. I know you want to keep going on this, but we have to go. We're being told they're about ready to bring the hook and pull us off. Thanks, sir. I want to thank our guest today, Chad Kennedy, architect of fun of the Awesome Spot Playground. For more information, how you can become part of the Awesome Spot Playground building, donating, whatever, visit the awesomespotplayground.com. That's the awesomespotplayground.com. I'd also like to thank you for tuning in each week. We are always here for you, and it's super easy to find us. Just Google Real Estate Jersey Jerky and take your pick, web, social media, email, or you can call me direct at 209-404-1915. In the weeks ahead, we'll be talking to Jason Rivera, owner of Core Inspections and Services, and the importance. It's really important to get a home inspection, period. I know it's hard for me to get it out, but it's very important to get a home inspection, especially even if you're paying cash for a property, you need to know what you're buying. We'll also have Stanislaus County Sheriff Jeff Dirksey will join us down the road. If you miss any of today's show, you can find us via podcast at iHeart.com or where you find your favorite podcast app. We're proud to live in this land of opportunity where you can still build personal wealth through home ownership. Join us here on Real Estate Jerky, where we always give you something to chew on every Saturday at 12 noon here on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. This week we'll be broadcasting Sunday at 10 a.m., but NFL season has started, and some Sundays we will be preempted, just not this one.
Thank you. I'm out of control. It's control chaos.
My MS license number is 235384, and we'll talk to you next week.